Okay, so we're going to start today unit 9 कोऑर्डिनेशन केमिस्ट्री। कल हमने स्टार्ट करी थी पर लाइट चली गई थी, इसलिए हमको दोबारा से आज इसको पढ़ना पड़ेगा ताकि हम इन कंटिन्यूएशन रहे। सो यूनिट 9 कोऑर्डिनेशन केमिस्ट्री, एज आई टोल्ड यू yesterday कि this is one of the most important properties of the transition metals. It is one of the most important properties of the transition metals, because when you're going to study coordinate compounds, the coordinate compounds, they are going to consist of a central metal atom and plus uske saath there are certain atoms or group of atoms which are attached with the help of a special kind of bond which is known as a coordinate bond. So the central metal ion over here, they all are going to be transition metals. In our day-to-day life, there are certain important, you can say, materials, or there are certain important complexes which are coordinate compounds of metals of the transition series. For example, we have hemoglobin, which is a compound of iron. Then we have chlorophyll, which is a compound of magnesium, and then we have vitamin B12, which is a compound of cobalt. ठीक है? Now when we are talking of coordination compounds, the earliest known coordination compound that was Prussian blue. So this was the earliest discovered, and hence after there were many other which were also discovered. Now when we are talking of compounds, the compounds which we are going to study over here, they are known as molecular or addition compounds, right? Molecular या addition compounds क्या होते हैं? Whenever we have a solution and that solution consists of two or more simple compounds, they are known as molecular or addition compounds. ठीक है? All solution in which two or more simple compounds are present, they are known as molecular compounds. So basically, how do they form the molecular compounds? We're going to take a concentrated solution, evaporate the solution, and that concentrated solution is going to consist of two or more simple compounds. उसके बाद जब उसको evaporate करते हैं, तो we are going to get addition compounds which may or may not be stable in nature. ठीक है? Now over here, these are, as I just said, these are known as addition compounds. Examples which we can take is KCl dot, MgCl2 dot, 6H2O, which is known as कार्नलाइट. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद हमारे पास आता है K2SO4 dot, Al2SO4 whole thrice dot, 24H2O, which is known as potash alum, फिटकरी जिसको आप बुलाते हो, right? Potash alum. And then we have Mohr salt, which is a salt of ferrous sulfate dot, ammonium sulfate. There are 6 order of crystallization over here. This is known as the Mohr salt. Right? Another type of salts which we can do over here, that is salts like copper sulfate dot 4NH3. ठीक है? Or we can have KCN dot AgCN. So all these, they are examples of molecular salts. Now the molecular salts or the addition salts, they can be further classified into two types. The first one, which are known as double salts. Okay? अब double salts क्या होते हैं? They are the addition compounds which are going to be stable only in the solid state. They are going to be stable only in the solid state. But now when we put it into solution, जैसे हम इसको water के अंदर dissolve करेंगे, they are going to break up completely into their individual constituents. ठीक है? So stable in the solid state, and when we dissolve it in water, they will break up into their individual salts, and they will also retain the properties of the individual salts in solutions. So amongst all these which we have done over here, KCl, K2SO4 and FeSO4, all these three they are going to be examples of double salts. जैसे हम इसको पानी में डालते हैं तो ये KCl में ब्रेक हो जाएगा जो कि प्रॉपर्टीज शो करेगा KCl की, MgCl2 में ब्रेक हो जाएगा जो कि प्रॉपर्टीज शो करेगा MgCl2 की. ठीक है. सेकंड जो हम लोगों ने इस वाले चैप्टर में पढ़ना है, they are known as coordination compounds. ये जो coordination compounds होते हैं, they are also going to be stable in the solid state. ठीक है. And when we put them into solution or when they are dissolved in water, they do not break up to give the identities of their individual ions. ठीक है. So इसको जब भी हम dissolve करेंगे, जैसे for example we talking of copper sulfate dot 4NH3. Now when we dissolve this in water, it is going to give us a complex copper NH3 whole 4 2 positive plus SO4 2 negative. Now this complex which is formed over here, this neither has the property of copper, neither will it have the property of ammonia. Right? So individual properties of this, of the constituent atoms or ions over here, that is not retained in the coordination compounds. In fact, जो यहाँ पे complex बन रहा है NH3 whole 4, that is going to totally have different properties than that of copper and ammonia. ठीक है? So this is going to be the major difference between the double salt and the coordinate compound. So how do we define a coordinate compound now? It may be defined as a molecular compound that results from the combination of two or more simple stable molecular compounds and retain its identity in solid as well as in the dissolved states. ठीक है? It does not lose its identity, it is going to retain its identity. Now, as I just said, that the properties of such compounds, they are going to be totally different than the individual constituents. Okay? Now, when we are talking of stability of a compound, we classify the coordination compounds into two. So, when we are classifying them on the basis of stability, the first type of coordinate compounds, they are known as perfect or penetrating. Perfect or penetrating. Now, perfect या penetrating का मतलब क्या हुआ कि in such complexes, the complex ion which is going to be formed, that is very feebly dissociated. या तो वो बिल्कुल ही dissociate नहीं होगा, और अगर dissociate होगा तो it is going to be very very feebly dissociated. An example which we can take over here is this is going to dissociate into 3K positive plus a complex ion FeCN whole 6 3 negative. ठीक है. अब ये जो complex ion है, this is not dissociated in perfect coordinate compounds because of its high stability. If in case it is dissociated, it is going to be dissociated to a very lesser extent into Fe3 positive plus 6Cn negative. So over here the dissociation is going to be very less, or we say that it is feebly dissociated. ठीक है. Second जो हमारे पास आते हैं, second type of coordinate compounds, they are known as imperfect or normal complexes. Okay, imperfect या normal complexes कौन से हुए? Which are going to be strongly dissociated. The complex ion over here that is going to be strongly dissociated. Like we have this compound over here. Now this is going to first dissociate into 2K positive plus CdCN4 2 negative. ठीक है? उसके बाद there is going to be complete dissociation of the complex which is taking place over here. So we have Cd2 positive plus 4Cl negative. Okay, so these are known as normal complexes. So before going on to the chapter, we are going to get familiar with certain terms which we are going to use in coordinate chemistry again and again. So let's go on to the terminology of coordinate chemistry, of coordination complexes. The first very important thing which we are going to study under this, they are known as ligands. ठीक है? अब ligands क्या होते हैं? They are going to be either neutral molecules, they may be positively charged, they may be negatively charged, which have tendency to donate electrons. So that is going to be a ligand. Right? So they have a tendency to donate electrons. Because they have a tendency to donate electrons, they are going to behave as Lewis bases. Right? All the ligands, they are going to be known as Lewis bases. Now these Lewis bases or the ligands, they are attached to the central atom by special kind of bonds known as coordinate bonds, right? Or they may also be known as dative bond. A coordinate bond or a dative bond, that is represented with the help of an arrow, where this point is going to be the metal atom to which electrons are being given, and from here the electrons are being donated. So ligands are going to be placed at this point of the arrow, right? So ligands over here, they are going to behave as I just said, they behave as Lewis bases, because they have a tendency to donate electrons, and the metal atoms, they are going to behave as Lewis acids. ठीक है? Because they have a tendency to accept electrons. Then after that, let's go on to the क्या कहते हैं उसको, formation of complex के लिए we said that we need two reasons, or we need two criteria. Which are those? Number one, formation of complexes can only take place, number one, if ligands have a lone pair of electrons. So the first criteria is that ligands should have a lone pair of electrons to donate, ठीक है? And number two, the central metal atom should have vacant d orbitals of same energy. Vacant d orbitals of same energy. ठीक है? So these are the two criteria which are important for the formation of complexes. Now depending upon the number of donor atoms which any ligand that is given to the central metal atom, we classify the ligands into the following types. The first one they are known as monodentate or unidentate ligands, right? So monodentate means that these are going to link to the central metal atom through one atom only, or in other words, they have the ligands having only one donor atom. Mono means one, dentate means tooth. So they are going to have only one donor atom or one electron pair to be supplied to the central metal atom. There are many, as we were discussing yesterday when the light just went off. So NH3, the donor atom, this is ammonia. The donor atom in this case is going to be nitrogen because of the lone pair of electrons which is present on ammonia. Okay? Then we have water. The donor atom in this, that is going to be oxygen. As oxygen has two lone pair of electrons, but it will only donate one lone pair of electrons over here. One donor atom is there. Then we have phosphine. Phosphine is PH3. The donor atom in this case, that is going to be phosphorus. And then we have carbonyl. Carbonyl is CO. The donor atom in this case, that is going to be oxygen. Okay? फिर उसके बाद we have nitrosyl. Nitrosyl is NO. Nitrosyl, the donor atom in this case, that is going to be nitrogen. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद we have pyridine. Pyridine is C6H5N. This is pyridine. Now, this pyridine will have nitrogen as the donor atom again. So, these are all monodentate ligands. So, there are many others which we will study later when we go on to the detail of ligands. So, as of now, you should remember a few of them. The second type of ligands which we are going to discuss, they are known as bidentate ligands. Bidentate ligands. जो bidentate ligands हैं, they are going to have two donor atoms. Bi means two. So they have two donor atoms. Right? Now ligands which have two donor atoms, they may be symmetrical or they may be unsymmetrical. So the first type of bidentate ligands, they are known as symmetrical bidentate ligands. Symmetrical means that in this case both the donor atoms are same. In this case both the donor atoms, they are going to be same. Example which we can take over here is ethylene diamine. So this is a neutral bidentate ligand. ठीक है? यहाँ पे ये भी नाइट्रोजन और ये भी नाइट्रोजन. So both of these, they are going to donate electrons, and because both the donor atoms are same, therefore they are known as symmetrical bidentate ligands. This is ethylene diamine or EN. Okay, then another one which we can have is oxalatine. So in this case, both the donor atoms, they are oxygen, therefore they are bidentate symmetrical ligands. Oxalatine. Okay? So this is again going to be symmetrical. Then we have unsymmetrical ions. For example, we have glycinate. Unsymmetrical means that both the donor atoms in this case, they are going to be different. Right? So they are going to have different donor atoms. For example, we have glycinate ion. In this case, one is nitrogen and the other one, that is going to be oxygen. So this is an example of unsymmetrical bidentate ligand, right? So this is symmetrical and unsymmetrical. The third type which we are going to do over here is tridentate ligands. The tridentate ligands, now they are going to have 3 donor atoms. Okay? 3 donor atoms. Three donor atoms. An example which we can take over here is diethylene triamine. So it is CH2, NH, CH2. This has one lone pair of electrons over here. Then we have CH2, NH2 and CH2 and NH2. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे आप देख रहे हो कि यहाँ से this can donate electron 2, 3. There are 3 donor atoms and it is going to be symmetrical tridentate over here because all the 3 they are going to be same. Right? Then we have polydentate ligands. Polydentate ligands will have more than 3. More than 3, that is, they can have 4. 4 will be known as tetradentate. They can be 5, which is known as pentadentate. And then we have 6, which are known as hexadentate. So hexadentate में एक बहुत important है. Hexadentate में एक बहुत important है. Hexadentate means 6 donor atoms it is going to have. An example which we can take over here is EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. So let's see what is going to be the structure over here. We have ethylene, CH2, CH2, diamine, N, H, NH. Similarly, we have NH over here and NH over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 in nitrogen. ठीक है? And tetraacetic acid means it is CH2COO negative. Similarly, we will have CH2COO negative, and we will have over here CH2COO negative and CH2COO negative. ठीक है? So this is ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. So you can see over here we have how many nitrogens? Oh, sorry. गलत बना दे. Ethylene diamine. It's ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. हमने tetraamine बना दिया. So we have CH2, CH2, N and N. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is ethylene diamine. Okay, and with this we have CH2COO negative. CH2COO negative, and then we have CH2COO negative and CH2COO negative. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. There are 6 donor atoms, and this is going to be unsymmetrical hexadentate ligand because nitrogen and oxygen, both different donor atoms, they are going to be present. Okay, so this is what ligands are and the types of ligands depending upon how many electron pairs can it donate. Then we come to another important term over here which are known as chelating agents. Chelating agents. What do we understand by chelating agents? Whenever we are talking of a bidentate or a polydentate ligand, that is going to claw on the central metal atom. Right? Because जैसे हमने अभी करा था हेक्सामीन, ये हेक्साडेंटेट में EDTA करा था, तो उसके पास 6 टीथ हैं. So वो 6 के 6 जो टीथ है वो उसको सेंट्रल मेटल एटम को चारों तरफ से पकड़ लेगा. So that is known as clawing. Okay? और chelating का मतलब क्या हुआ? Whenever there is more than one क्या कहते हैं, या more than monodentate ligand is present or didentate ligand is present, it is going to connect to the central metal atom by more than one donor atoms. This term is known as chelating. Is it clear? So bidentate और polydentate ligand जब भी central metal atom के साथ coordinate bond बनाएंगे, that is known as chelating. Why chelating? Because it is going to form a closed or cyclic ring with the central metal atom. Right? Just say for example, if we are taking ethylene diamine over here. So let's see, we have copper as the central metal atom. Ethylene diamine is NH2, CH2, CH2, NH2. So it has one lone pair of electrons here and one lone pair of electrons here. It can donate it to copper. Similarly, we have another one, another molecule of ethylene diamine over here. This has one lone pair of electrons, this also has one lone pair of electrons. So it is going to, so this is forming a kind of a cycle with the central metal atom. So that is why this is known as a chelating ligand. Okay? This is known as a chelating ligand. What are going to be the characteristics of chelates? Characteristics of chelate. The first is that chelating ligands, they are going to form more stable complexes. They are going to form more stable complexes than monodentate ligands. Then number two, all those having more number of donor atoms. More number of donor atoms will form more stable complexes. Like if there is a didentate ligand present and if there is a tetradentate ligand present, then the tetradentate is going to form a more stable complex with respect to didentate. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद अगर ligands के पास larger groups होते हैं, ligands having larger groups, they are going to form unstable complexes because of steric hindrance. Right? So repulsions are going to take place in larger groups because of steric hindrance and they are going to form more unstable complexes. Clear? फिर उसके बाद हमारे पास आते हैं one special kind of ligands which are known as ambident ligands. Ambident ligands. What do we understand by ambident ligands? They are special kind of monodentate ligands only which have more than one donor site. Which have more than one donor site, which means that they are going to be monodentate. Yes, एक ही उससे क्या कहते हैं उसको donate करेंगे to the central metal atom. There is going to be only one donor atom present, but they have two donor sites, so they can you can say they can donate either through one or through the second, but monodentate ligands are here, right? Example which we can take over here is that of NO2. Now NO2 can form coordinate bond with the central metal atom through nitrogen. ठीक है? And it can also form coordinate bond with the central atom through oxygen. पर करेगा एक ही के साथ, या नाइट्रोजन या ऑक्सीजन, मोनोडेंटेट, बट इट हैज टू डिफरेंट साइड्स. जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इफ इट इज डूइंग इट थ्रू ऑक्सीजन ओवर हियर, यू कैन राइट दिस एज ONO. Then this is known as nitro, right? And or it is more क्या कहते हैं उसको, commonly known as nitrito N now. First it was known as nitro, now it is known as nitrito N, and this is known as nitrito O. ठीक है. सो अगर ऑक्सीजन के थ्रू लिंक करेगा तो इट इज नोन एज नाइट्रीटो O, और अगर नाइट्रोजन के साथ लिंक करेगा तो इट इज नोन एज नाइट्रीटो N. सिमिलरली वी हैव another group, cyano. If it is donating through carbon, this is known as cyano, and if it is donating through nitrogen, it is known as isocyano. ठीक है. Similarly we have another one which is HCl. HCl can donate through sulfur. If it is donating through sulfur, it is known as thiocyanato. And if it is donating through nitrogen, then it is known as isothiocyanato. Then it is known as isothiocyanato. Right? So these are known as embedded ligands. Then what do we understand by coordination number? We understand by coordination number. Coordination number, that is the number of atoms of ligands which are donating to the central metal atom, or which are forming coordinate bonds with the central metal atom, that is going to be the coordination number. ठीक है. For example, if you are taking copper NH3 whole 4 2 positive. So over here you can see that there are 4 NH3 which are going to combine to the copper, or which are going to form coordinate bonds with copper by donating its electrons. So the coordination number in this case, that will be equal to 4, because there are 4 amines which are present. ठीक है. If you're taking another example over here, we have ethylene diamine. Okay, and there are 3 ethylene diamine present over here. We know that ethylene diamine is a bidentate ligand. Each of ethylene diamine is going to form 2 bonds. So if there are 3 ethylene diamine, how many total number of coordinate bonds form? 6. So the coordination number in this case, that is going to be equal to 6. ठीक है? Clear हो गया? This is what coordination number is. Now the most common coordination number which is going to exhibit it, that is going to be 4 and 6. Okay, and जितने भी light transition metals होते हैं, they are going to give 4 and 6 coordination number. That is 3D series of the D block. They all form coordination number of 4 and 6. Is it clear? Then next we come to coordination sphere. Or coordination entity. Coordination sphere or coordination entity. Now what is coordination sphere or coordination entity? It is going to be the spatial arrangement of the ligands around the central coordination compound, the coordination sphere or coordinate entity is enclosed in square brackets. Okay, so we're taking over here an example of copper MH3O6Cl3, right? So this can be divided into two things. One, this is the central metal atom, these are the ligands, and this is going to be known as the counter ion. Okay, so coordinate entity क्या हो गई? This is going to be the coordinate entity, the central metal atom with its ligands, that constitutes the coordinate entity. Now this is because there is a covalent bond which is present over here. They are going to have fixed geometries, and those geometries, they are known as what? They are known as the coordinate polyhedral. Okay, so next हमारे पास क्या आ जाता है? Coordination polyhedral. Coordination polyhedral, that is going to be the spatial arrangement of ligand atoms. This what I had said over here. The spatial arrangement of ligands around the central atom, that is going to be a coordination polyhedral. Each of the coordinate compounds, they have a fixed geometry depending upon the number of ligands which are going to be present. ठीक है? जैसे for example, if there are 4 ligands present, it may have 2 structures depending upon the hybridization, which is one is tetrahedral and the other one square planar. Right? In case of tetrahedral, the geometry is going to be sp3, and in case of square planar, the geometry, the hybridization, that is going to be dsp2. Okay, and then we have, if the coordination number is 6, then the coordinate polyhedra is going to have an octahedral geometry. So the spatial arrangement of the ligands around the central metal atom, that is going to be the coordination polyhedra. ठीक है? Then we come to another very important concept over here, effective atomic number. Atomic number. Effective atomic number क्या है? That is EAN. Effective atomic number. Now it is the resultant number of electrons with the metal atom or ion after gaining electrons from the donor atoms. So mathematically, if you want to calculate the effective atomic number, it is going to be atomic number of the metal right? Atomic number of the central metal atom minus number of electrons lost in ion formation. Number of electrons lost in ion formation plus number of electrons gained from the donor atoms. Number of electrons gained from the donor atom. So let's try and calculate for one or two this thing, effective atomic number, so that you understand. We are taking a complex over here, K4 FeCN6, right? So what is going to be the oxidation state of the central metal atom? How do you calculate the oxidation state? First, let's understand that. Over here, when we're talking of calculating the oxidation state of the central metal atom, so we have to take the valency of this potassium. Valency of potassium is 1 positive. So 4 into 1 plus जिसका calculate करना है उसका x Cyano has one negative charge, so minus 6 into 1, 6, that is equal to 0. X, that will become equal to plus 2, right? So the oxidation number of iron in this case, that is going to be plus 2. Okay? Now what is the atomic number of iron? Atomic number of iron, that is 26. Okay? What is the coordination number over here? 6. There are 6 cyano which are present. So how do you calculate the effective atomic number now? Effective atomic number, that will be equal to 26 minus 2. 26 minus the oxidation state, because 2 electrons, number of electrons lost in ion formation, that is going to be 2 electrons which are lost in ion formation. Okay? And plus coordination number into 2. So how many donor atoms have been gained by the central metal atom? Each of the cyano is going to give 2 electrons. Okay? Each of cyano is going to link to ferrous by giving 2 electrons. And how many cyano are present? 6. So 6 into 2. Okay? So when you calculate this, this will become equal to 24 plus 12. Right? So it is coming to 36. Now effective atomic number gives us the stability of any coordinate complex when the effective atomic number is either equal to the atomic number of any of the noble gases, or it is near to it. Right? Now 36 is the atomic number of krypton. So krypton is a noble gas over here. Effective atomic number is equal to the atomic number of the noble gas. Therefore, this compound is going to be stable. Okay? Let's take another example. We are taking over here copper, NH3 and sulfate. Right? Now again the oxidation state of copper, when you will calculate over here, that will come equal to plus 2. The atomic number of copper is 24. And what is going to be the coordination number over here? The coordination number, you put the bracket here. Instead of here, put the bracket here. Okay? So the coordination number will be 4. Is it clear? So let's calculate the effective atomic number now. We have 24 minus 2 plus 4 into 2. Okay? 24 minus 2, that is 22 plus 8, which becomes equal to 30. Sorry, 24 nahi hai, copper hai na, 29. 29. 29 minus 2, that is going to be 27. So this comes equal to 35, which is again nearer to krypton. Okay? So this is how you are going to calculate the effective atomic number. So as I just told you, the main role of the effective atomic number is to tell us about the stability of the coordinate complex. If the effective atomic number is either equal to the atomic number of any noble gas, or it is nearer to it, that means that the compound that is going to be stable. Okay? Then next we come to homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. Homoleptic and heteroleptic complexes. Homo means same, leptic means ligands. So if there are same kind of ligands present, they are going to be known as homoleptic. Right? An example which you can take over here is, so all the ligands which are present, they are going to be that of ammonia. So that is an example of homoleptic complexes. Okay? And heteroleptic means they have ligands. So different ligands का मतलब क्या हुआ कि जैसे for example we have chromium NH4 whole 4Cl2. So you can see over here there are two types of ligands present. These are said to be heteroleptic complexes. ठीक है? So homoleptic same kind and heteroleptic they are going to be different kind. In a similar manner we have homonuclear and polynuclear. Homonuclear and polynuclear. Homonuclear में there is going to be only one kind of atom present. These are the most common ones. One kind of metal atom present. So all these examples which we have done above, they are of homonuclear complexes, where only one central metal atom is present. Now complexes in more than one central metal atom is present. More than one central atom is present, they are going to be known as polynuclear. Although these are very rare in nature, but still we will do a few examples when we are going to do the next topic.